Tatsuya was an ugly, poor, and neglected child, which is already a rough combo before you even factor in the mom who tried to kill him before he was born. His abuse kept escalating daily, like she was speedrunning Worst Parent of the Year. And on his 4th birthday, because nothing says happy birthday like trauma, she forced him through an illegal, forbidden surgery designed to fry his brain with his own broken mental abilities. The procedure failed to kill him. It just deleted every emotion and desire he had. No more crying, no more screaming for help. Just a child being used as a lab rat and then demoted to his sister's glorified bodyguard. Totally normal childhood stuff. What nobody knew, however, was that during all of this, Tatsuya was quietly developing the most destructive magic known to humanity, along with the ability to bring people back from the dead. He kept both of these facts to himself, which honestly seems like a completely reasonable response to a family that tried to murder him multiple times. Family vacations were, predictably, not great. His mother and sister flew first class, ate gourmet food, and lived their best lives, while Tatsuya sat alone among strangers in economy, staring at the ceiling for the entire flight. When Miyuki spotted him at baggage claim, she was visibly disgusted that they shared DNA. Their mother helpfully clarified that Tatsuya wasn't a person to be acknowledged. He was a servant. Miyuki, for her part, wished death upon him so casually that you'd think it was a personality trait. And for her at that point, it kind of was. At their villa, the AI-made Hanami welcomed them, and when the weather looked nice, Miyuki asked to go for a walk. Their mother said to bring the servant along. Miyuki was furious at the idea of walking within 20 feet of the guy she refused to call her brother. Every step she took, all she could think about was how worthless he was. A magically defective nobody who couldn't even be acknowledged in polite conversation. Then a large man bumped into Tatsuya on purpose, which escalated quickly, because apparently this guy brought 3 soldiers with him for a casual vacation stroll. They threatened Miyuki. Tatsuya stepped in, told them to get their ugly faces out of his way, and then one of them threw a magic-infused punch at him. Tatsuya blocked it like he was swatting a fly. Miyuki's jaw hit the floor. The soldier assumed a fighting stance. Tatsuya told him calmly that he was risking his life. The soldier didn't listen. Tatsuya dodged his attacks and hit him in the stomach hard enough to drop him to his knees. The bodyguards stood there in collective shock while Tatsuya grabbed his sister's hand and walked off like nothing happened. For the first time in her life, Miyuki felt something different toward her brother, and it wasn't death wishes. Inside the mansion, Miyuki told Hanami that her brother had protected her. Tatsuya said he was just following orders, which somehow shocked Hanami more than the actual fight. Their mother, meanwhile, was pleased that Tatsuya knew his place. She considered this a win. After he left the room, Miyuki started crying, wondering why he had to be her servant. Nobody answered, because the universe was busy setting up more trauma for later. Shortly after, Hanami informed Miyuki that their mother was too sick to attend a royal party, so Miyuki would be representing the family. And Tatsuya would be coming with her. In the limousine, Hanami sat with a broken heart. She was an AI, a machine, and yet here she was, feeling more empathy for a human being than the actual humans in this family did. She quietly hoped that one day these 2 siblings might actually be close. At the party, Miyuki's uncle greeted her warmly and proceeded to introduce her to the rest of the extended family while treating Tatsuya like he was invisible, which, to be fair, is the standard family policy. 2 cousins, Ayako and Fumiya, were excited to see Miyuki, but immediately sprinted over to talk to Tatsuya instead, because they were apparently the only functional members of this entire bloodline. Their father was irritated, because ignoring the real heir to the Yotsuba family is apparently poor etiquette even if everyone else does it. But Miyuki watched her brother smile, a real smile, not a forced servant smile, and felt jealous. He had never smiled at her like that, not once. She understood why. The entire Yotsuba clan, Japan's most powerful magic family, treated Tatsuya as nothing more than an instrument. So she knew she had to do the same. She could never let herself love him. But watching him smile again sent a pain through her chest she couldn't explain. Weeks later, while Hanami was taking photos, she noticed a familiar sadness on Tatsuya's face and suggested that Miyuki take a picture with her brother. Tatsuya needed their mother's permission first, because asking permission to appear in a photo with your own sister is apparently where we are. And after she agreed, the two sat down together. Miyuki, who had spent her entire life looking at him with contempt, smiled at the last second. And in that frozen moment, everything shifted. Then a submarine started chasing their boat because this story doesn't believe in gentle transitions. The captain alerted them that missiles were incoming. Tatsuya reached out his hand, slowed the flow of time, activated his abilities, and neutralized every single missile, reducing them to chunks. Miyuki immediately started wondering how he could use magic without a CAD device, and more importantly, who her brother actually was, because she realized she had never known anything about him. Meanwhile, the Navy commander, described with the kind of energy you reserve for someone who parks in handicapped spots, launched an investigation into why the torpedoes were fired. Nobody knew. He was told to stop wasting time. Later, outside the house, the soldier Tatsuya had previously defeated recognized him and, like a man with genuine honor, forced his subordinate to apologize for the earlier disrespect. Tatsuya accepted. The soldiers left. And before the leader departed, he invited Tatsuya to come train at their base, then drove off because apparently invitations here are delivered at speed. The next day, after some events involving Miyuki's weaponized assets being briefly exposed to the world, she called Tatsuya in and told him to accept the captain's training offer while she attended a ball. Miyuki, however, did not want to be separated, claiming she just wanted to evaluate his combat abilities, for safety reasons, and absolutely not because she was developing complicated feelings. Their mother agreed, but ordered Tatsuya to call Miyuki by name in public to prevent anyone from figuring out their arrangement. After hours of walking through the rain, because comfort is not in this family's vocabulary, they arrived at the base. Soldiers were training everywhere. The captain invited Tatsuya to fight. The first soldier introduced was a national college boxing champion. He told Tatsuya to go easy on him. When the fight started, Tatsuya hit him once in the chest and dropped him to his knees. The commander sent in Haruto next, told him to give everything he had. Haruto launched kicks. Tatsuya dodged every single one while simultaneously increasing the distance to prevent weapon deployment because Tatsuya fights like someone who has been in actual life or death situations, not like someone whose danger experience comes from sports tournaments. After dodging everything, Tatsuya went for the counter, had both strikes blocked, and when Haruto attempted to finish the fight, Tatsuya grabbed his arm and threw him to the ground. Then Danny Bonner, a large man from the National Air Force who introduced himself with an enthusiasm that suggested he had been waiting his whole life for this moment, offered to be Tatsuya's final opponent. The commander checked if Tatsuya was comfortable. Miyuki worried. Tatsuya told her he'd be fine. Danny immediately boosted his speed with magic, and Miyuki complained this was unfair. Tatsuya called her by name and told her that in the real world, you have to be ready to fight magicians. Miyuki froze. He had used her actual name, not a title. Her name. Tatsuya activated his powers as Danny charged. In an instant, he used Gram Demolition to neutralize Danny's movement and immobilized him. The fight ended. Danny admitted defeat like a proper sportsman, reintroduced himself, and then hugged Tatsuya and told him to call if he was ever bored. It was somehow the healthiest relationship Tatsuya had formed in this entire story. 3 days later, Miyuki quietly judged her brother for spending all day watching anime indoors like an absolute gremlin instead of going outside. Yes, she was talking about you too. You know who you are. That afternoon, an emergency alarm went off. The National Defense Force announced that a defense ship had been sunk and everyone needed to evacuate to the island shelter immediately. Tatsuya arrived to escort his family. Then the phone rang. It was Maya, Miya's twin sister, calling to say that Miya should release Tatsuya's power limiters. Maya confirmed she could disable them remotely without lifting a finger, and Miya agreed and hung up because apparently the answer to a military crisis is to weaponize your son. At the shelter, Danny was assigned as their personal guard. They waited in a holding room while preparations were made. Hanami immediately noticed something wrong. Shelters are always supposed to be ready for emergencies. At the same time, Tatsuya was quietly reassuring Miyuki, telling her he would always support her. Hearing her own brother say her name made her realize she didn't know what he meant by support. Then Tatsuya stood up, felt vibrations in the floor, and the delayed sound of gunfire finally arrived. He crouched down and analyzed the building. There was a magic inhibitor in the room specifically designed to restrict his abilities. Miya looked at him, her eyes lit up, and she activated her ability to remove his limiter and release his full power. Tatsuya ran outside and found guards shooting each other. Inside, armed guards arrived claiming to escort them to the shelter. Miya told them to take the others first. Not because she cared about Tatsuya, she made a point of clarifying this to Hanami, but because she didn't trust the soldiers. Then Danny burst through the door with his own allies shooting at him. Hanami tried to deploy a protective barrier. A soldier destroyed her entire field of force along with her ability to cast magic. Danny screamed at his own comrade to snap out of it, and the comrade shouted back that Danny was treated like royalty because of his powers and would never understand their struggle. Danny, unarmed, tried to remind them they were friends. Miya used the distraction to fire her freezing magic and take one of them out. The surviving soldier opened fire on her and the rest of the family in a fury. Miyuki was hit. She went down. A wall exploded. A soldier was eliminated instantly. Tatsuya landed. He moved through the remaining soldiers like they were training dummies, reached his sister, placed his hand on her chest, and began releasing his resurrection ability, begging her to come back. Inside her fading consciousness, Miyuki realized she was actually dying. She heard Tatsuya's voice reaching for her. She wondered why he would even try to save her after everything she had done, and wished she had at least apologized before the end. Her last drop of strength vanished. As she died, a magic circle enveloped her and her wounds began to close. She opened her eyes to Tatsuya's face. He embraced her for the first time in their lives. She held him back. When he looked up, he saw their mother had also died. He drew his weapon, aimed at her, and healed her wounds too, bringing her back from death. Then he began repairing Hanami's damage. Hanami was in complete shock. No healing magic in the world is supposed to reverse death itself. And yet, 30 minutes later, the army commander apologized for his soldiers becoming insurgents and informed them that a massive enemy fleet was approaching, with 80% of the defense force already destroyed. Tatsuya understood the situation. He asked them to take his family somewhere safe. He got into armored gear and military equipment. When the commander asked why, Tatsuya simply said that they had killed his sister, so he was going to burn every single one of them to ash. The commander agreed only if Tatsuya would spare anyone who surrendered. Tatsuya said they wouldn't have time to surrender. Miyuki ran after him and begged him not to risk his life. Tatsuya told her this was exactly what he wanted, that he had sworn to eliminate anyone who ever hurt her, and he would not be satisfied until it was done. Because in this world, the only thing he could consider precious was her, his little sister. Then he realized he had just said that out loud. He told her it was time she finally knew the truth. Before leaving, he told her that she was the only thing in this world he could call dear to him, and that he would burn the entire planet if that's what it took to protect her. Then he walked away while helicopters lifted off into the night. When the enemy fleet reached the island, Tatsuya began vaporizing bullets, deleting them from existence entirely. With his healing ability, he revived fallen soldiers from death and sent them back into the fight. Miyuki watched from safety and turned to her mother. She needed answers. So her mother finally agreed to reveal the truth about Tatsuya. But first, she told Miyuki to stop referring to him as a worthless failure, because what she was about to say changed everything. Miyuki said Tatsuya had saved her life with his ability. Her mother replied that saving Miyuki's life was literally the only thing he was born to do. After all, she said, he came into this world as a defective magician. In this world, magic is the ability to modify and materialize objects using information data. Tatsuya could only destroy information and reconstitute it without changing it. Born without conventional magic, even his regeneration wasn't technically classified as magic. So 7 years ago, their mother conducted what was called the Artificial Magician Project, a forbidden surgery where she implanted a magical calculation region into his brain. The procedure permanently altered him. Tatsuya lost all of his impulses, his rage, his deep sadness, his hatred, his desires, his love. Everything was erased. Everything except one single remaining thread of his ability to use magic and one single remaining emotion. His magic was still considered basically useless by family standards, so he was subjected to brutal daily training to make him useful as a guardian, which is, to summarize, they destroyed his inner world and then made him exercise. Miyuki realized in that moment that her mother had also cost Tatsuya all of his emotions during that surgery. But her mother then revealed the one thing that hadn't been taken. When Miyuki began to cry as the truth became clear, her mother finished the sentence. The one emotion Tatsuya had never lost was his love for his sister. His entire life had been dedicated to improving her life. He barely even acknowledged their mother as a real parent. Everything he had ever done, every sacrifice, every fight, every moment of endurance was for Miyuki. And Miyuki had spent that same time wishing he would die. She sat there wondering if there was any way to ever repay what she owed him. Out on the battlefield, 6 remaining ships were closing in. Tatsuya materialized an enormous cannon. Hanami asked if she could go help him. Miyuki didn't care either way, because Tatsuya was about to unleash his second supreme ability, and the time for words was over. He told his fellow soldiers to leave the area before they were caught in the destruction. They refused to abandon him, so Tatsuya aimed his cannon and opened fire. Enemy missiles came down toward them. The soldiers deployed barrier magic to absorb the explosions and buy time. Tatsuya used every second of that window to calculate the trajectories of his previous shots and prepare his finishing move. The entire fleet launched everything they had at him simultaneously. Then Hanami arrived on a motorcycle at the last possible second to block the explosions with her own body. The soldiers watched and wondered how much longer she could hold out. Before her power gave out entirely, Tatsuya finished his calculations and fired the final shot. The entire fleet was destroyed. Hanami collapsed. A tsunami was triggered by the explosion and nearly finished them all. They barely escaped. When they reached safety, Hanami told Tatsuya that her life had come to its end. Her entire purpose as an AI had been to protect this family, she said, and today she had finally fulfilled it. When Tatsuya moved to extend her life, she refused. She had never been free to choose anything in her life. But this, choosing where to die, was hers. She wanted to die as a human being rather than as a man-made instrument. She asked him to allow her this final wish. She closed her eyes and never opened them again. 3 years later, Tatsuya enrolled in first high school. On his first day, a girl from the first course introduced herself as Mayumi, president of the student council, and offered to help him find his way around. Tatsuya noticed her CAD device and concluded she wasn't your average student council president. He introduced himself and declined the help. At the opening ceremony, he noticed the clear divide. Blooms, the top-ranked students, in front. Weeds, the lowest-ranked, in back. He knew exactly where he belonged. A girl with glasses asked to sit next to him. She introduced herself as Mizuki. Her friend said her name was Erika, and Tatsuya immediately assessed her as worse than a beat-up, worthless car. When the president finished his speech, Miyuki came up to give hers, and Tatsuya thought she was talking complete nonsense and couldn't wait to leave. That evening, Miyuki tried to make coffee and realized that nobody, not a single person, had congratulated Tatsuya on getting into the school. The thought made her furious. She started freezing the kitchen. He appeared in time and calmed her down. It was already bad enough that the family had never wanted him to enroll, he said. He couldn't expect anything from them. The next morning, they ran to the training grounds, and when Tatsuya arrived, two men immediately tried to attack him. He deflected one, kicked the other, and spent the next few seconds dodging and striking like someone who has never had the luxury of treating combat as practice. Then the sensei appeared in front of Miyuki, questioned why her useless face was in his dojo, and almost immediately let his perverted mind take over, making suggestions that were completely inappropriate before Tatsuya blocked an incoming strike and told the man to stop being disgusting. The sensei promised to teach Tatsuya a lesson. Tatsuya attacked. He found the invisible barrier, got hit with an overwhelming barrage of punches before being kicked away, and landed comfortably on his feet, which impressed literally everyone watching. He advanced again. Training ended with Tatsuya exhausted. Miyuki tried to help him, then noticed her dress was dirty, and used magical technology to instantly clean it, because this show rewards multitasking. At school the next day, classmates noticed Tatsuya registering for lectures at impossible speed. A new student introduced himself as Leo, cited his practical ability as convergent system reinforcement magic, and asked what Tatsuya's specialty was. Tatsuya said he had none and intended to become a magic engineer. A bell rang. The teacher walked in. Tatsuya wondered why she looked like a stylized nun. In the cafeteria, Miyuki asked to join their table. A group of insufferable blooms materialized in front of her. Their leader, Shun, suggested they dine together, declaring that weeds were low-ranking losers unworthy of sharing space with them. Leo tried to challenge him. Tatsuya decided to just leave the table, which was the correct response. That evening, the same group of insufferable blooms returned, demanding to escort Miyuki home. Shun declared that Tatsuya and Leo weren't even worth acknowledging. Mizuki disagreed via a comment about Shun's mother. Shun, wanting to prove his power, challenged Leo to a duel and fired a magic weapon at him. Erika deflected it. Another member tried to activate his power. A girl activated hers first, dropping darkness over everyone. Mayumi arrived and pointed out that using magic on people was a crime. Mary, head of the disciplinary committee, arrived, told everyone they'd be punished, and ordered them all to disperse. Tatsuya tried to explain that he had technically provoked the blooms into revealing their powers first. Mari called him a liar without evidence to back it up. Miyuki apologized for the disturbance and blamed it on a misunderstanding. Mayumi stepped in and covered for them, then told everyone never to activate magic independently again because rules exist. Mari said she'd let it go this time, but promised to keep her eye on Tatsuya. As they left, Shun informed Tatsuya that he would never acknowledge him, not even for saving his skin, because he was completely convinced he was too superior to owe gratitude to a weed. Then he left anyway, which somewhat undercut the intimidation. On the way home, two Bloom students appeared and apologized. Honoka, the girl who had activated her magic, thanked Tatsuya for covering for them so they wouldn't be expelled. She asked if they could walk together to the station. The weeds were stunned, that a Bloom student was walking with them voluntarily. When Honoka asked how Miyuki modified her CAD, Miyuki mentioned that Tatsuya was a CAD specialist and could adjust hers deeply whenever she wanted. Erika found this information thrilling and asked if Tatsuya would examine her own CAD. He informed her that her device was more worthless than her face and told her to get lost. Directly. The next day, Mayumi rushed up to them and asked to meet Miyuki at lunch. At the student council office while eating, she offered Miyuki a seat on the council. Instead of accepting, Miyuki pointed out that Tatsuya had scored higher than her on every test and was a genius by comparison, and asked if both could join. Mari mentioned there was still an opening on the disciplinary committee. Mayumi nominated Tatsuya immediately. The bell rang. They agreed to meet after school. In magic practice class, Erika activated the system and directed her device along the line with impressive speed. When it was Tatsuya's turn, he activated the system, directed his device, and found it frustratingly slow. He sat there disappointed in himself, wondering why he was so bad at this specific thing, completely unaware that the evaluation criteria were designed to measure exactly the type of magic he fundamentally cannot do. At the student council office later, Tatsuya decided he wasn't good enough for the position and nearly refused. Mayumi's vice president, Jiobu, a man whose face Miyuki internally compared to broccoli, though she still complimented him, got irritated and walked past Tatsuya to greet Miyuki. Jiobu argued that no weed had ever qualified for a disciplinary committee position. Miyuki said Tatsuya's test score didn't reflect his abilities and that he could defeat anyone in a fight. Tatsuya stepped in and challenged Jiobu to a simulation battle, shocking everyone present. Jiobu, confident he couldn't possibly lose to a second-rate student, accepted. Jiobu had a CAD that activated magic twice as fast as average. He had planned to launch a speed-dependent sequence, hit Tatsuya with a single system movement spell, and slam him into a wall with enough force to leave him a vegetable. When Miyuki called start, Jiobu readied his attack. Tatsuya was standing behind him before he could fire it. The room went silent. Everyone wondered if he was a ghost. When it was over, Jiobu asked how he had activated an acceleration ability before the fight even began. Tatsuya said it wasn't magic at all, just a physical technique. Miyuki clarified that Tatsuya trained in ninjutsu. Mayumi asked if it was a ninjutsu spell. Tatsuya explained it was a basic vibration spell he created using cyan waves, overloading his opponent with enough cyans to simulate the sensation of severe seasickness. Mayumi found this incredible and asked how his practical exam score could possibly have been so low. Tatsuya said the school's evaluation system was terrible and that most of his actual abilities were simply ignored in the test, since it only measured the activation speed of conventional spells. Accepting this, Jiobu apologized to Miyuki. He couldn't quite bring himself to apologize to Tatsuya directly, and left the room. At home that night, Miyuki asked Tatsuya to upgrade her CAD so she could perform multiple tasks with her abilities. He agreed, scanned it quickly, finished the job, and was fully prepared to go to bed like a reasonable person. Miyuki, however, had other ideas and began speculating out loud about whether he would invite Mayumi over or pursue a simultaneous arrangement with Mari. Tatsuya asked if she was on some kind of experimental medication. She grabbed his CAD, declared she preferred having him all to herself, activated a spell, and knocked him off his chair and into unconsciousness. His auto-restoration kicked in immediately. When he woke up, Miyuki cheerfully informed him it was already morning. At the disciplinary office, Mari presented Tatsuya and Shun as the newest members of the committee, told them to begin patrol immediately, and dismissed the others. With only them remaining, she informed Tatsuya and Shun they were now authorized to carry and use CAD devices within school grounds, a privilege she reminded them not to abuse. Patrol began immediately. He quickly found a group of students trying to force Erika into joining their club, activated his CAD, sprinted toward her, took out the first guy, and exited with the girl, before anyone fully processed what had happened. In safety, Erica said she didn't want to be alone, so they visited a kendo club together. Erica immediately decided the kendo practice was terrible. While they were standing there, two teams were arguing over court space, and one arrogant idiot challenged a girl named Mibu to a duel. Mibu had placed second in a kendo tournament. Her challenger, Takagi, was a regional champion. He promised not to use magic. She called him a liar and said he couldn't beat her without cheating. Tatsuya quietly began recording them. The fight escalated. Takagi's staff grazed her arm. Her staff would have pierced his heart in a real fight. She told him to admit defeat. He activated his CAD and prepared to use high-frequency vibration blade magic on a girl in a practice session because he is exactly the kind of person you think he is. Tatsuya recognized that this was going badly. In a blink, he appeared in front of Takagi and released cyan waves that neutralized the weapon while simultaneously dropping him. When the other students realized Tatsuya was a weed, one of them grabbed at him. He slipped free. He explained that Takagi had misused magic. The guy tried to punch him. Tatsuya dodged, deflected another attacker, and made them crash into each other. Mibu tried to support him. Her club captain stopped her. Tatsuya neutralized their CADs and basically danced around every remaining attacker while the captain stood there genuinely impressed. The next day, Tatsuya was running toward a reported fight in the gym when a mysterious hand fired magic at him from the trees. He predicted the spell before it landed, released cyan waves that destroyed it, and watched the attacker flee, noting a distinctive bracelet on the wrist before they disappeared. In class, Leo told Tatsuya he had become locally famous since the kendo incident. Tatsuya spotted Miyuki watching from the entrance. They went to lunch and found Mibu there. She asked if they could eat together. Tatsuya said he wasn't interested in being her emotional support and told her to go live her life. She said she'd be waiting at the cafe just in case. As Tatsuya prepared to leave, Miyuki asked if he was planning to visit the girl and became immediately jealous at the thought of sharing him. She said she was happy he was becoming known, but worried his real abilities would be discovered soon. He promised to keep them hidden. Later that day, Tatsuya was called to the counselor's office, where the counselor was dressed in a way he thought was more appropriate for retirement from a completely different profession. She said he had been brought in for a mental evaluation to determine whether he was a pervert. After a series of questions, she asked if Miyuki was his new romantic interest. He told her to stick her face into her own business and called it a rumor. That evening, Mibu told the kendo captain she was tired of being bullied for her inability to use conventional magic and wanted to change things at the school. The captain decided Tatsuya was their only hope and told her to recruit him. At home, Tatsuya revealed to Miyuki that a secret group called Blanche, an anti-magic organization, was infiltrating the school and definitely had bad intentions. The attacker who had come at him near the gym was wearing their bracelet. Miyuki worried they'd be sent home once their family got involved. Tatsuya promised to handle it before it escalated. Days later, Tatsuya took a new performance test and found his magical speed was over 900 milliseconds, leaving him staring at the results and wondering if improvement was even possible for him. In the cafeteria, Mibu told Tatsuya she wanted to fight for better treatment for all first-course students if he joined her club. Tatsuya wasn't convinced and asked what she actually expected to change. She said she wanted to change the whole school. He told her she was too confused to know what actually mattered, and that his only goal was to graduate and leave everything else behind. Realizing their intentions were incompatible, he declined and walked away. That afternoon, Mibu's secret group announced over the PA system that they intended to fight for equality in the school, and threatened to destroy the building if their demands weren't met. When Tatsuya and the disciplinary committee arrived, they found the power cut and the door barricaded. Tatsuya got on the phone with the group inside and told them the committee was willing to negotiate and no one would be arrested. They let the students out. Miyuki asked why he had lied. Mayumi arrived and pointed out that Miyuki couldn't set negotiation terms unilaterally. The council would handle it from here. At school one day, Tatsuya spotted the kendo captain trying to persuade Mibu to join his club, and recognized him as the same person who had attacked him in the trees. On the way out, Miyuki confirmed. He was the kendo club captain, the same person with heightened sensitivity abilities as her, and his brother was the leader of another major anti-magic organization in Japan. Their sensei confirmed all of this that night, adding that the captain's intentions were completely hostile and they would almost certainly try to sabotage an upcoming debate. On the day of the debate, two mysterious men dropped off a truck outside the school and left before being seen. Inside the hall, the kendo club representative argued that the school system was rigged in favor of magic users. Miyuki responded that the committee didn't have unlimited authority, but promised to change the specific rule preventing first-course students from joining the student council. The crowd applauded. The kendo club realized they had already lost their only leverage. Explosions rocked the hall. Anti-magic members tried to flee. The committee caught them. Tear gas was fired into the hall. Tatsuya neutralized it with a spell and sent it outside. 3 men invaded the hall and began suffocating as Mari compressed every breath from their lungs. Outside, more attackers descended. Tatsuya offered to protect the building. Mari told everyone to evacuate immediately, recognizing that 2 fewer bodies were better than none. Leo was outside kicking attackers. One tried to use magic on him. Miyuki froze the attacker's feet and launched him skyward before gravity remembered its job. Leo was delighted. The counselor appeared and told them the real target was the library. The hall attack was only a distraction. She said Mibu had been working with these men but asked them not to judge her. She was being manipulated, used like a puppet, and was fighting her own demons. They ran for the library. Leo activated his reinforced fist and punched an attacker 30 feet backward. Miyuki called it impressive. Tatsuya pointed out that Leo had used a reinforcement spell on his CAD and was blocking every attack with it. Inside the library, Tatsuya activated a new ability and scanned the entire building, pinpointing every enemy's exact position. Erika pulled out her weapon and took out 2 men in a single burst. A third arrived. She said she'd handle him alone. Miyuki launched Tatsuya upward with a spell and he went over them, bouncing off a wall before landing in a private room where the attackers had been attempting to copy the school's complete magical data records. Tatsuya fired a signal that destroyed their devices before they could finish. When one of them tried to shoot, Miyuki froze his hand instantly and noted she probably wouldn't be opening Christmas gifts for the foreseeable future. Tatsuya told Mibu, the second one inside the room, that equality, as these people understood it, was never going to exist, and that she had let herself be manipulated into terrible decisions. Miyuki told her Tatsuya was orders of magnitude smarter than her and had always earned his respect rather than demanding it. She told Mibu she needed to get a life. She also mentioned, almost as an afterthought, that Tatsuya had noticed her face and apparently once considered making her his second wife before concluding she wasn't worth the paperwork. Mibu, still reeling from this assessment, had her ring activated by one of the men to disrupt magic. Tatsuya dropped every man in the room, spotted Mibu escaping, and told Miyuki to let her go. Erika was already waiting outside. Erika found Mibu and introduced herself as someone who had watched her compete in the kendo tournament and was deeply disappointed to see what she had become. Desperate to escape, Mibu grabbed a weapon. Erika offered her a sword instead because she wanted a fair fight and drew her own. The exchange was brutal. Mibu had activated auto-acceleration and blocked Erika's opening moves. She activated a jamming ability and went on the offensive. Erika broke her weapon in half, handed her another sword, and then dropped her to the ground in seconds. Her bones were fractured. As she lost consciousness, Erika caught her. Outside, the kendo captain was tracked down, tried to escape, had his breath stolen by another student's magic, and was neutralized. In the infirmary, Mibu explained everything. She had been convinced to join Blanche after someone noticed her loneliness and treated it like a recruitment opportunity. Mari told her she wasn't a failure, she was a victim. When Mibu fell into sadness, Tatsuya told her to be proud of what she had accomplished on her own. She had gotten stronger without anyone's recognition, and that was worth something. She cried. Tatsuya announced his intention to eliminate the rest of Blanche entirely. Miyuki asked to come. Erika and Leo volunteered as backup. He opened the door and revealed the counselor had been listening to the entire conversation through the wall. Just standing there, in the hallway, eavesdropping. Shortly after, they located Blanche's secret hideout. Kasuto, a member of the 10 master clans, offered to come along since he considered himself ready for any threat. Hours later, they arrived at the hideout. Tatsuya told them to capture the leader. Leo deployed a reinforcement spell to protect the vehicle as they drove through the gate. Inside the storage area, sunlight hit Tatsuya's eyes as an ugly man stepped forward and introduced himself as Raimu, leader of Blanche, apparently under the impression that announcing your own villainy is an effective strategy. Tatsuya aimed his weapon and told him to surrender. Raimu laughed in his face. Then he offered Tatsuya a position in the organization, describing his recruitment pitch with the same energy of someone who has never been told no. Tatsuya wasn't interested. He told Raimu he already knew he had manipulated Mibu through targeted psychological exploitation and wasn't going to fall for the same trick. Raimu decided to move to Plan B and threw his glasses at the ceiling as a distraction while activating a mind control spell. Tatsuya had already predicted this. He said he'd seen through the spell before it even activated. He had noticed exactly how Raimu was preparing to use his CAD, and the glasses were an obvious diversion. A cheap trick that failed before it began. Out of tricks, Raimu ordered his men to open fire. Their weapons shattered instantly. Raimu realized he was out of options and ran. Tatsuya followed. One of Raimu's supporters pulled out a knife and tried to play hero. Miyuki froze him in place and turned him into an ice sculpture. Inside, Miyuki released a full ice spell that froze every remaining target into solid blocks. Kasuto shielded himself from all incoming shots, and his backup moved through the room cutting weapons and kicking people with the energy of someone who had a bad week and needed to express it. Tatsuya scanned the building, found another cluster of enemies, shot them, and watched their weapons disintegrate. They activated signal blocking. He shot through it anyway. Raimu watched from across the room and couldn't understand how his jamming was doing nothing. A beam of light cut through the door. Kasuto's backup realized Tatsuya had cleared his side alone. When Kasuto learned that Raimu was the man who had nearly destroyed Mibu's life, he removed a body part from Raimu's person in a way that made Raimu immediately and loudly regret everything. Kasuto then put Raimu to sleep with a spell to stop the screaming. That night, Miyuki noticed the frozen men were starting to defrost. Some weeks later, they went back to the hospital. Mibu was being discharged. Her father pulled Tatsuya aside to thank him, saying his words had brought his daughter back to herself. He told Tatsuya he'd make an excellent husband. Tatsuya received this information without visible reaction. When they rejoined the group, Erika asked Mibu directly who she'd prefer to go home with. Mibu admitted she had feelings for Tatsuya from the beginning. She found him strong, reliable, and the kind of person who shows up when things go wrong. As for Kirihara, she said he was a great companion and absolutely permanently stationed in the friend zone. Kirihara, upon hearing this verdict, understood his situation completely. On the way out of the hospital, Mibu asked Tatsuya why he had bothered enrolling in high school when his abilities were so far above anyone at the school. He told her he liked being a student and that he wanted to share these moments, with her included. That evening during training, Miyuki flew high and destroyed fire projectiles with precision before softening her own landing. Tatsuya sensed a presence in the trees. The sensei already knew who it was. The counselor stepped into the light and asked how they had noticed her in the forest. Tatsuya demanded to know why she had been following him. The sensei explained she was a former student and had probably come to warn them. Tatsuya remained unsatisfied with this and demanded to know why she was dressed like a ninja attempting to infiltrate a government building. The sensei revealed she was actually an undercover investigator for the Public Safety Bureau, assigned to them shortly after being placed as a counselor. She asked them to keep it secret or her cover would be blown. Days later, Tatsuya and his friends won a school soccer match and noticed a quiet student who seemed to have made the difference. After the game, Leo and Tatsuya introduced themselves and told the kid, Mikihiko, that he had the raw talent to become the next Messi. Mikihiko thought they were flattering him, said he wasn't sure he could even get into the Magical Academy next year, and was happy to have made 2 new friends. That afternoon, in the student council office, Mayumi announced they would be participating in the 9 schools competition, a prestigious event held once per decade, where the school's reputation for the next 10 years was very much on the line. At a planning meeting, Mayumi recommended Tatsuya for a position on the technical staff. Kasuto suggested Tatsuya demonstrate his actual abilities by adjusting a CAD live in front of everyone. Kirihara volunteered to be the test subject. Tatsuya began copying his data to another CAD, then filled in the rest manually while everyone stared at his typing speed, which appeared physically impossible. In seconds, he was done. Kirihara equipped the CAD and activated his light blade. He reported feeling perfectly fine. Kasuto said that removing Tatsuya from the team was essentially shooting themselves in the foot. One student tried to argue Tatsuya wasn't special. Leo shut that down. Agreement was reached. Tatsuya was in. That night, Tatsuya's superior in his classified department ordered him to complete a performance evaluation the next day and noted that it shouldn't interfere with his competition preparations. Also, a suspicious group had been spotted near the venue. Stay alert. At home, Miyuki modeled her competition outfit. Tatsuya said she looked beautiful and that she would certainly win, which she treasured significantly. He then demonstrated a new flight technique by rising into the air in front of her. She told him she was proud to be his sister and estimated their hypothetical children would be adorable. Tatsuya informed her she could be his test subject for the flight system, and she accepted immediately. In the basement lab, she activated the device, floated off the ground, reported 0 dizziness, and when he told her to fly across the room, called herself a goddess and shot through the underground space at full speed. After a few days, they visited a development center where Tatsuya presented the flight device to a renowned researcher named Shiyama. Other test subjects tried it and found the system stable. Shiyama declared Tatsuya a genuine genius. On the way out, they ran into their father and the family's butler. The butler refused to acknowledge Tatsuya's existence and described him as a common bodyguard less significant than a cockroach. Miyuki tried to argue that her brother deserved respect. The butler informed her that everyone wanted her to become the next Yotsuba family head, and Tatsuya was completely irrelevant to that future. Miyuki started generating ice and was about to make the butler significantly colder. Tatsuya stopped her. He called their father spineless, then walked away with his sister. At the opening ceremony, Miyuki presented Tatsuya with a brooch and received applause from the crowd. Tatsuya introduced himself to a group of students as their new CAD operator. Several of the girls immediately began speculating about the range and depth of services he might provide. Reactions were mixed. That night after school, Miyuki sensed something supernatural inside the building and went to investigate. In a classroom, Mikihiko was attempting to summon spirits. When he felt her presence, the spirits flew toward her, but Tatsuya appeared and redirected them. He apologized to Mikihiko for interrupting and explained the spirits would have consumed Miyuki if he hadn't arrived. Mikihiko said he was learning to summon monsters. Impressed, Tatsuya asked what kind of spirits Miyuki had seen. She described strange, blue, luminous entities. She was too frightened to look closely. Mikihiko heard this and became convinced that kissing her was the fastest path to acquiring the same ability. His logic was his own. Tatsuya told them both to get a room. Mikihiko then told Miyuki he had always wanted crystal eyes like hers, completely losing himself in the compliment. Tatsuya rated the flirting as technically terrible. On the day of departure for the competition, Miyuki arrived late to the bus and apologized to Tatsuya. He said it was fine, told her to get in. She thought maybe they could sit together for the journey. He told her to sit elsewhere because her face would give him nightmares. Miyuki spent the bus ride in quiet devastation, wondering why they always had to be apart. On the road, a van lost control and crossed into their lane, clearly aiming to maximize casualties. The driver hit the brakes and stopped the bus in time, but the van kept coming, swerving directly toward them. All students prepared to release their magic. Mari ordered them to hold. Their magic would only cancel each other out. She called for Kasuto to stop the van, but his power couldn't extinguish the flames inside. Miyuki offered to do it, launched a spell that destroyed its shields and extinguished the fire instantly. Without hesitation, Kasuto deployed a barrier, and the van slammed into it. Calm returned. Everyone wondered what had just happened. After arriving at the venue, Tatsuya told Miyuki he had detected magic at the accident scene and believed the driver had caused it deliberately. They found Erika inside. Tatsuya observed her uninspiring appearance and moved on. That evening at the banquet, Erika approached Tatsuya. He complimented her apron over her face and left it at that. A man welcomed all the students and introduced the director of the Magic Association for his speech. The hall went dark. A woman appeared in a spotlight. Tatsuya detected sensory interference magic and concluded the director had cast a large-scale illusion over the entire room. The woman exited. A man with no visible eyes appeared and said the woman had been a test, and only 5 people in the entire room had noticed. He told the rest they were failures who would already be dead if he had been trying to kill them. That night outside the hotel, Mikihiko tried practicing his summoning magic, sensed mysterious men approaching, and initially mistook them for thieves, until his spirits were deflected by counter magic, and he realized these were not ordinary criminals. He thought about reporting to security. Then he thought about Tatsuya dropping multiple veterans without using magic, found that inspiring, and decided to go after them himself. He found the men, deployed light spells, and their weapons shattered. A powerful lightning strike electrocuted them all. When he stood over them, he wondered who had destroyed their weapons. Tatsuya appeared from the shadows, and Mikihiko was relieved to see a familiar face. From his hotel, Tatsuya had detected the 3 men's presence early, realized Mikihiko wasn't going to arrive in time, and moved to support him, destroying the weapons to allow Mikihiko's lightning to land without resistance, then simply watching the rest play out before revealing himself. When Tatsuya left, his major appeared and told him Mikihiko was similar to him, both struggling with self-acceptance. Tatsuya said that was sentimental nonsense, and Mikihiko could handle his own problems. The next day, as the competition's first events began, Tatsuya analyzed Mari's strategy in real time and explained to the girls watching that she had simultaneously deployed reinforcement magic and a multi-launch movement system, using it to lock herself to her board and maintain balance. Mari jumped to a lower wave, splashed her competitors, and Tatsuya said the strategy had won her the race. That afternoon, in a private meeting, the tournament director told Tatsuya the mysterious men from the previous night were members of an organization called No Head Dragon, a criminal group that intended to manipulate the competition's outcome and eventually start a war. The next day, in the quarterfinals, Mayumi hit every single target 3 times faster than her opponent and achieved a perfect score of 100. The round was over before it felt like it started. The day after that, Mayumi asked Tatsuya to help her stretch and demonstrated her flexibility with the energy of someone hoping for a specific reaction. When he offered nothing, she asked why he wasn't falling over himself like every other man she encountered. He said he had too much work to do. In another event, Shizuku prepared for combat, and when the alarm sounded, she launched vibration-type magic into her rival's ice constructs, destroying a pillar instantly. Her opponent deployed defensive magic to protect the remaining ice. Shizuku's magic was stronger and kept eating through it. Desperate, the opponent switched to offense and managed to collapse some of Shizuku's pillars. Shizuku fired one more concentrated burst and demolished everything at once. That evening, Tatsuya's group received news that their team's scores were barely competitive and they were running out of events. They needed 4 of their remaining 6 finals to guarantee first place. At the hotel that night, Miyuki and the others came to Tatsuya's room, hoping to keep him company. When Erika noticed his latest invention, she asked to try it. He told her she was too unattractive for the privilege and tossed the box to Leo instead, telling him to activate it. Leo launched a spell that caused the blade to extend, split apart, and fuse back together. He called it remarkable and was happy it only required reinforcement magic to operate. Tatsuya explained the blade's power was in extension, with an invisible segment that locked it in place. To test it, he summoned floating brooms from the floor. Leo charged through them and shattered them into pieces. The next day, during a surfing event, Mari was closing in on the finish when she noticed her closest rival was losing control. Before she could react, the girl flew off her board and collided with Mari, sending them both into the water. Tatsuya went to see her immediately. That evening in the hospital, Mari said her board had malfunctioned just before impact. Mayumi said that was unusual. Someone had attacked the water with magic. Back at the hotel, Tatsuya told the group the attack on Mari had been deliberate. The question was how a magic user had bypassed all the competition's monitoring systems and deployed a spell in the water undetected. In a strategy meeting, Mayumi informed them they had 2 major events left and needed to win both for first place. A poor result in either would drop them out of contention. Susumu explained they had decided to abandon the smaller event and concentrate everything on the larger one, treating it as all or nothing. Mayumi told Miyuki she was the one they were putting everything on. Tatsuya told her she had a real chance and that she would succeed. The next day in the arena, Shizuku's event began. She fired at her targets without missing and scored a perfect 100 again. Later, in a separate meeting, Susumu delivered bad news. The boys had lost their events again and were very effectively destroying the team's credibility. With only 1 event remaining, Mayumi hoped for a miracle. In the lab, Tatsuya told Shizuku he had improved her weapon and was certain she'd win her next round. She thanked him and left. The event started. She hit her targets twice as fast as her opponent. Final score, 100 perfect points. The team celebrated. Mayumi thanked Tatsuya. He said to thank the students. Watching Tatsuya remain completely unmoved by the team's excitement, Susumu quietly wondered why he was always so depressingly composed. Before the next event, Tatsuya found Honoka in the arena and said he had an idea to help her win, since participants weren't allowed to use magic on each other. They put on sunglasses and waited for the start signal. When the race began, Honoka activated her magic and released a blinding burst of light directly into the other competitors' faces. Using their disorientation, she shot forward across the water with no opposition and crossed the finish line well ahead of everyone. Crying immediately and at full volume, she thanked Tatsuya and told him this was the first time she had ever won anything in her entire worthless life, and she was going to the quarterfinals. Tatsuya received her gratitude calmly. That night, Mayumi and Mari found out the boys had lost yet again. If this kept up, the boys would be blamed for losing the entire competition. In a secret meeting, members of No Head Dragon discussed how to alter the results. Eliminating the competition entirely seemed like the cleaner option. Their leader proposed destroying the other teams before it was too late. In the hotel, Mayumi found Tatsuya in the hallway and said she needed to talk. She asked why he had declined to have his name included in the prestigious magic encyclopedia. He told her that the Magic University was capable of running deep investigations and would eventually connect his identity as Taro Sylvia to the Yotsuba family. He said he wasn't powerful enough yet to hide indefinitely. Even if he could defeat his aunt one-on-one, he couldn't force the family to serve him, and eliminating her would only install something worse. He had no choice but to continue following orders. Miyuki appeared from behind him and wrapped her arms around him, saying she was on his side. Always. The next day, Shizuku stepped into the arena for her next matchup. The signal sounded. Her opponent deployed a protective shield over his pillars. Shizuku's magic destroyed several immediately. Realizing he was losing ground, he tried destroying her pillars to close the gap. She launched rapid covering spells and demolished what remained of his pillars. Victory by annihilation. Later, while Tatsuya worked on a CAD, Honoka watched him and thought about the first day she had seen him at the admission exam. She had watched Miyuki activate magic and direct an object with stunning speed, and concluded Miyuki was a special talent. When it was Tatsuya's turn, his speed had been lower, but she found his magic beautiful. Effortless in a way she couldn't explain. Mayumi's committee arrived and declared support for Miyuki. Miyuki told them to take their support and file it. She walked into the arena. The signal sounded. Her rival tried to activate her CAD. Miyuki had already cast spells on both sets of pillars. While she melted her opponent's side with fire, she protected her own with ice. Her opponent increased her magic. Miyuki overpowered it. In a final move, Miyuki released a wave of ice that consumed her opponent's entire side in one blast. Tatsuya was proud. That night at the celebration, the girls began wondering exactly what Tatsuya had done to improve Miyuki's CAD. One girl got so into the conversation that she asked why Tatsuya wasn't authorized to service her too. Her own engineer, she said, was not sufficiently masculine. Shun overheard this and left the room in quiet humiliation, realizing his reputation as useful was evaporating in real time. In the hallway, he told his friends they needed to win the next event even if it required cheating. It was the only way to prove they were better than Tatsuya. In the next event, Erika noticed all the competitors wearing sunglasses. They had clearly prepared for another blinding light attack from Honoka. At the starting shot, the racers launched immediately. A rival slowed on the curve, allowing Honoka to take the lead. On the next curve, the same rival slowed again. Honoka accelerated. Mikihiko realized the strategy. The other competitors, wearing tinted lenses, were reducing their visibility in the curves and compensating by slowing down. Honoka, with normal lenses and full visibility, maintained speed on every corner. Tatsuya's plan. When she crossed the line, Mikihiko concluded without any reservation that he was dealing with a certified genius. After the event, Mayumi congratulated the girls and noted they had dominated the Pillars break competition with everyone reaching the finals. Shizuku said she intended to fight for first place even if it meant competing against her own teammate. Miyuki agreed to face her. They positioned themselves across the arena from each other. Miyuki released fire. Shizuku shielded her pillars. Realizing the fire was melting them anyway, Shizuku switched CADs and hit one of Miyuki's pillars with a phonon maser. Miyuki was unmoved and deployed a freezing wave across Shizuku's pillars. To close it out, she released everything at once and destroyed all of them simultaneously. The next day, Miyuki informed Tatsuya that their male teammates had been injured in an incident. Shizuku said it wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate attack to remove the team from contention. Mayumi confirmed. The team had been struck with an arrow-type spell just before their round and buried under rubble. Tatsuya suspected the competition officials might be involved and asked whether the event would be postponed. Mayumi asked to speak with him privately. Inside, Tatsuya revealed that the 3 men he had caught attempting to break into the hotel on their first night were Hong Kong-based criminals contracted to fix the competition's outcome. He had already extracted this information. Meanwhile, across the city, No Head Dragon's leadership meeting concluded that all their plans had failed, and the cleanest remaining option was eliminating the entire team. That night at an event, 2 girls from Tatsuya's team began systematically cutting lights before each opponent could react. After the event, Tatsuya was called into a committee meeting where Mayumi thanked him for his strategies and his CAD improvements, which had pushed their point total over 50 ahead of second place. She said even if they withdrew from the monolith code, they'd only fall to second. But she didn't want second place. She wanted everything. And she asked him to fill in for the injured male students in the monolith code, saying only he was capable of matching Masaki and Shinkuro. Tatsuya told her regulations prevented substitutions. Mayumi said he could be the exception. Mari expressed full confidence he could defeat anyone. Tatsuya, determined to avoid this, tried arguing he was weak, useless, uglier than necessary, and so incompetent he couldn't best a chicken. Kasuto told him to stop inventing idiotic excuses. As a committee member, he was bound by Mayumi's authority. With everyone aligned against him and no legitimate exit, Tatsuya agreed. He chose Leo and Mikihiko as teammates. That night in the hotel, he told them he would adjust their CADs and build a strategy to wreck everyone. He sounded almost enthusiastic. The next day, when the monolith code began, Tatsuya appeared in front of an opponent and launched a weakening spell before advancing. When the opponent attacked, Tatsuya destroyed the spell in an instant. Shinkuro, watching from the sidelines, recognized Graham demolition. Mari remembered the same technique stopping the van on the highway and started wondering if Tatsuya had been the one who saved them. Tatsuya opened the enemy's monolith but retreated before anyone could track him. Simultaneously, an opponent reached Leo's monolith. When he tried to attack, Leo swung his blade into the man's side and pinned him to the ground. In the forest, Mikihiko sent a wave of scions at another target and made him lose his way completely. Tatsuya ran through the trees, activated a spell, jumped into a branch, and launched across to another before landing. He hit the final enemy with a resonance spell. His team won the round. In the next matchup, Mikihiko used an infiltration spell to locate the enemy monolith. Tatsuya sprinted to it and fired from below before evading a counterattack barely. Leo found his own opponent, protected his monolith with a spell, and dropped the guy with his blade. When the alarm sounded, they had won again. In another arena, Masaki was obliterating his competition. Rocks launched at him dissolved. His interference armor shattered every attack, and when opponents tried rushing his monolith, he hit them with precision spells and exploded their summons. He and Shinkuro were coming, and they intended the final to be personal. Mikihiko wondered if they had any real chance against them. Tatsuya told him to worry about the opponents in front of them first. When the next competition started in the mountains, Tatsuya knocked an enemy into the water, ran to their territory, fired at the monolith from below, and Mikihiko inserted the code into his CAD. Finished in seconds. That night, Tatsuya found the counselor spy and asked her to locate No Head Dragon's hideout, the same group that had tried to break into the hotel. She was shocked he knew the organization's secret name. He said it wasn't her business, told her he intended to neutralize them before they could target his team again, and dismissed her as she stared at him with the intensity of someone who has developed very complicated feelings at a very inconvenient time. Masaki and Shinkuro, satisfied upon learning the final would be held in open terrain, discussed whether Tatsuya would actually engage them directly. Shinkuro said he wouldn't have a choice. In the tent, Tatsuya gave Leo and Mikihiko magic robes containing embedded protective circles. He said the robes would shield them from Shinkuro's invisible bullets and confirmed they were within legal parameters. They looked convinced, or at least convinced enough. The night before the final, Tatsuya lay there wondering if they could actually win and whether he had any realistic chance against Masaki and Shinkuro simultaneously. Then Miyuki appeared and told him she believed he had never lost to anyone and never would. She turned and walked away quickly. Tatsuya knew he couldn't disappoint her. In the stands, Mizuki noticed spirits circling Mikihiko and thought his abilities were beginning to restore themselves. The alarm sounded. Masaki launched a spell immediately. Tatsuya destroyed it instantly. More spells came. Tatsuya continued destroying them as he advanced. His own shots were deflected by Masaki's interference armor, but he kept moving, kept firing, both men advancing toward each other without stopping, shooting continuously as if ammunition was a concept that didn't apply to them. Tatsuya told his support team to guard the monolith. He ran toward Masaki, destroying every attack coming his direction, dodging invisible bullets by inches. He spotted a hole in the ground. Realizing how close that had been, he activated his mental scan and began detecting every one of Masaki's spells in real time, firing through them without hesitation. Shinkuro was rushing toward Tatsuya's monolith. Leo appeared in front of him. Shinkuro launched a spell. Leo grabbed his robe and used it as a shield, then swung his blade. Shinkuro dodged, realized his invisible bullets couldn't penetrate the robe, and flew through his own spell cloud to protect himself from the explosion. He deployed a new spell and pinned Mikihiko to the ground. Masaki then hit Leo from a distance with an invisible bullet. Shinkuro used the opening to cement Leo out of the fight. Tatsuya changed direction toward him. Masaki kept launching spells around Tatsuya in an expanding radius, technically beyond the competition's rules, and was certain Tatsuya couldn't survive the saturation. Tatsuya spun, fired in every direction, rolled across the field, kept moving. Invisible bullets exploded in craters around him. He stumbled. Masaki's system reported fractured ribs and a ruptured liver, combat capacity falling significantly. Then the system reported auto-restoration initiating and began backing up his data. Tatsuya landed next to Masaki. With Masaki still processing what had happened, Tatsuya snapped his fingers. The sound hit Masaki's ears like a cannonball. He went down, both eardrums ruptured. Tatsuya, also injured, sat down to recover. In the field, Shinkuro was briefly delighted to learn Masaki was out, until his own system alerted him to an incoming strike. He barely dodged a lightning bolt. Mikihiko, despite his injuries, decided his pain wasn't relevant and deployed his clones via ninjutsu before launching massive stones from the earth. Shinkuro cut his binding vine and was hit by a second lightning strike that dropped him. He got up. He unleashed a devastating explosion intended to eliminate Mikihiko permanently. A shield materialized and absorbed it. Leo appeared with his blade and dropped Shinkuro. Match over. The committee tent erupted. Mayumi was stunned by what she had just watched. In the arena, all the students cheered for the boys. Miyuki was more relieved than anyone. Meanwhile, in another meeting, No Head Dragon concluded their team's odds were essentially zero and decided the only remaining option was removing Tatsuya and his teammates from competition entirely. Everyone agreed. In the camp before their next event, Miyuki asked if they'd be attacked again. Tatsuya told her he would always protect her. That morning, during a competition, Miyuki's teammate activated her core, and it failed. Miyuki knew immediately something was wrong. An official caught the girl before she hit the water. Tatsuya's phone rang. Miyuki said she had seen a spirit exit the girl's CAD. Tatsuya told her they were being targeted again and took Miyuki's device for inspection before the next round. He arrived at the inspection tent. The official began scanning. The moment the official tried to install a virus, Tatsuya dragged him over the counter and demanded answers. When the man refused, Tatsuya moved to end him. The director without eyes walked in. Tatsuya explained the situation. The director confirmed the device contained an electronic worm, a virus designed to cause malfunctions at critical moments. The criminal was removed. The director authorized Miyuki to use a replacement CAD. He said he hoped to see Tatsuya again. Tatsuya said he didn't have time for men with empty eye sockets. Back at the team tent, Miyuki tried to apologize. She felt guilty for provoking his emotions when he wasn't supposed to feel them. Tatsuya told her the apology was unnecessary. His anger existed specifically to protect her. That evening, Miyuki asked if she could use the flight CAD. The new event began. The girls flew toward the lights. Miyuki activated her new spell and went beyond them, actually flying past them all while they watched from below. The crowd started asking how she had acquired flight capability. She cut the lights from the air and kept climbing. When the round ended, she had an overwhelming lead. Tatsuya was satisfied. At No Head Dragon's base, the organization realized their newest plan was a total failure and activated their backup option, a man they referred to as Captain America. He arrived at the arena and tried to attack someone, was picked up and thrown through the structure, deployed a spell on the way down, rolled on landing, and when he asked the person who threw him who they were, the attacker pointed out he was probably a robot. Another agent appeared. Captain America tried to punch him. The agent pushed him back with a spell and told a colleague to contain him. Electric needles pinned him to the ground. Agent Fuji had done her job. In the arena that night, Miyuki launched her magic as the event began and started cutting lights again. She noticed the other competitors had also acquired flight magic and were cutting lights beside her. Gradually, they ran out of power and began descending. Miyuki kept cutting. At the hotel that night, while the girls celebrated, America wondered aloud whether they'd secure the second monolith code. In the parking lot, the counselor transferred all No Head Dragon intelligence to Tatsuya. He thanked her and told her he'd handle the rest personally. When she left, he got into Agent Fuji's car and said he had found the organization and was going to send them a very specific Christmas gift. That night, the director without eyes visited the major's office and said he wanted to bring Tatsuya into his own clan, an outsider from his own family's structure. He noted that he had personally trained Tatsuya's mother and aunt when they were young and wanted to do the same for Tatsuya. With Tatsuya as part of his clan, the Yotsuba would become dangerously powerful, capable of ruling all 10 master clans. Tatsuya, meanwhile, had arrived in the city and was closing in on his destination. Inside their hideout, the No Head Dragon leadership discussed how to eliminate Tatsuya, agreeing he had become a serious problem. At that moment, Tatsuya was on a rooftop, ready. He fired. Someone was eliminated instantly. The men inside started panicking, wondering what was disappearing. A generator vanished. They asked who was next. Tatsuya's phone call connected. He informed them he was there for payback. Another generator disappeared. A man flipped a table and hid behind it. A generator revealed the attack vector was coming through the window. One man aimed at the distant structure and spotted Tatsuya smiling through the scope. Before he could process this information, a bullet removed his eye. They ordered their generators to engage. The generators said they couldn't reach him. 2 more vanished. Through the call, Tatsuya told them he was offering quick funerals with no need to arrange cemetery space. One man tried to beg for help. Tatsuya told him he had cut their communications and made him disappear. The one-eyed man tried for the door. He disappeared before reaching it. One man remained. He announced he had found God, was surrendering, and intended to dedicate the rest of his life to moral improvement. Tatsuya told him that line was literally every sinner's favorite phrase. The man promised the organization would withdraw from Japan entirely. Tatsuya said only the leader could make that decision. Desperate, the man said he was second in command and could deliver that commitment. When Tatsuya asked for the leader's name, he eliminated another generator as incentive. Without options, the man gave up the name. The leader was the son of someone named Richard, a prominent figure in public society. Tatsuya decided this was a good evening to be an antagonist and eliminated another man immediately. The surviving man demanded to know why. arguing they hadn't killed any students. Tatsuya told him they had made this personal the moment they went after his sister. Their attempt had awakened something in him and set him on this path. He ended the call. He ended the man. The next day, Kasuto and his team ran through the Monolith Code finals, electrocuting and dropping opponents with clinical efficiency. When the alarm sounded, Kasuto's team had won. In the arena, Tatsuya and Miyuki watched Kasuto in another Monolith Code round. His defensive construct, the phalanx, deflecting everything while his team knocked opponents down like they were made of paper. With the competition finally over, Miyuki and her teammates received their medals. Kasuto was elated. That evening at the hotel celebration, Tatsuya found Miyuki standing near Masaki and immediately recognized what was developing. When Masaki noticed Tatsuya, he realized this was her brother, and concluded his romantic situation had become significantly more complicated. Tatsuya honored the bro code and asked Miyuki to give Masaki a dance. They headed to the floor. Shortly after, Kasuto pulled Tatsuya outside and proposed joining the 10 master clans, arguing it was the only way to protect him from his own family's leadership. Tatsuya was reluctant. Kasuto asked if marrying Mayumi would help change his mind. Tatsuya said he wasn't gullible and was too young to become a father. Kasuto acknowledged he had made his decision, but warned that whatever happened with the clan's next leader could not be ignored. The leadership wanted him, and they intended to either have him or make him their next head. Some weeks later at school, Miyuki wondered why Tatsuya was in the library and assumed he was watching adult content. He said he was researching the Philosopher's Stone. He explained it had the capacity to transform materials into magical components and was believed capable of storing magical sequences. When she asked why he had come to find him, she said the new student council president wanted to see him. He agreed to leave. In a private office, a professor told Tatsuya they had been invited to a competition of some kind and asked if he was willing to represent the school. He mentioned the final team member had just arrived. Then he left without elaborating on anything, which seems to be this world's standard briefing format. Back home that evening, Tatsuya and Miyuki found a strange, intimidating woman sitting on their couch. She was an associate. After Miyuki offered to prepare dinner, Tatsuya asked with zero warmth why this unsettling person was occupying his furniture. The woman stood and told him she needed his support at headquarters and wanted him to leave school. He said he couldn't leave his sister. She said another guardian could take over. He said no one would ever be good enough for his sister, and that he was completely content remaining as her personal eliminator for the rest of his life. Realizing he wasn't movable, she revealed a relic similar to the Philosopher's Stone, one capable of storing magical sequences, and asked if he could duplicate it. This was almost exactly the thing Tatsuya had been searching for. He agreed to analyze it immediately. After she left, he told Miyuki he was going after some targets and departed on his motorcycle. He found a collision scene, a staged accident, with armed men moving in on the occupant of a car. He ran toward them. When one activated a jamming signal, Tatsuya dismantled the man's weapon instantly. Before they could understand what was happening, he dropped them with rapid shots. When he moved to check the victim, a sniper hit him. He healed instantly. The bodies were loaded into a vehicle and it drove away. Using his internal senses, he tracked the bullet's origin, appeared on the rooftop in front of the sniper, and fired. The sniper ceased to exist. At home, he showed Miyuki the relic and explained he had been contracted to replicate it. He admitted it might be impossible. He intended to try anyway. If successful, it could enable the creation of magical robots capable of fighting in wars or cleaning bathrooms. He was pragmatic about the applications. And if you want more of this chaos, if you made it this far without giving up, you clearly belong at Curious Nerd. We're the channel for people who watch a boy with literally no emotions become the most dangerous person in the room and just nod. Subscribe, hit the bell, and come join a community of people who appreciate when protagonists have devastating backstories and zero tolerance for nonsense. You know where to find us.